Hi there, welcome. I am Sean. I am the Dungeon Master that is running a few campaigns. Today we are actually preparing for two new campaigns. We are preparing for Curse of Strahd, and we are also preparing for a homebrew campaign of my own called the White Queen. More specifically, today we're looking at milestone points or milestone experience points. And I picked this up by going through Curse of Strahd with a group that started in September of 2021. And currently, we are still running through and greatly enjoying the campaign. So, what is it that I'm looking to do to make this different or use it in other campaigns? So, to start off, let's just look at what we've got to start with. Right now, basically, it has a starting. I start at level 3 for Curse of Strahd because I find that I can still challenge my players with Death House and early adventures without too much of an issue. But that also means if I start at level 1, it's going to be really hairy. And so I'd rather just start at level 3, Death House becomes optional, and we can go from there. Now, the module says it's designed for levels 1 through 10. Perfect. That means we don't have to go through and find every little detail to the world. We can explore and have fun with it, and if we hit everything, then that means they get to level up more. But that means we're going to also be spending more time in the campaign and in the world. I absolutely love it. So, there's a few ways that they can get experience points. Curse of Strahd is interesting, or unique, in the fact that it has a dedicated reading. Um, there's also a few other things that are identified, such as Strahd's goals, as well as uh, another little homebrew I picked up from the DM's Guild, which was the interactive Tome of Strahd down here. And so this one is for my 21 group. I'm not going to show that just in case any of them watch, but we'll hop over into the 23 Curse of Strahd, which is starting in January, and we'll take a look at that. Now, here I have it as question marks, the Tome of Strahd, just because it is an item that the players are looking for, and until they get it, that's not an option. So I leave it as a mystery, since I do share this with the players. So heading over into Sheet 2, here we've got the reading, where acquiring the Tome, the Sun Sword, and the Holy Symbol are all worth 2.5 points. Now, getting the special NPC to join them is worth 5. I think the reason why I did this, yep, there it is. The reason why I did this before was because they had 2 special NPCs that were joining them. However, I still like having it at 5, even if they're only going to have 1 NPC joining them. This makes it so that there's more points to get and it's more incentive to find that NPC. But they don't have this breakdown. They just get to see this first sheet, which gives them their totals for each category. Now, enemies, it's going down and saying, alright, what is major enemy in this book? And so all the major enemies are worth 1.25 points. Now, Strahd himself is worth 10 points. Strahd is not the end of the adventure. He is the goal of the adventure. But in most cases, you still have other things to explore or that the players might want to explore with their characters. So that's why it's important to go ahead and give him a point value. Because it might be that, okay, we defeated Strahd, now we want to go through the castle and find all the treasure. Well, just because he's gone does not mean the danger's gone. So, he's worth value. Um, in fact, he's worth the most points because of who he is. Now, Strahd has goals. Do the players know them? Maybe. Maybe not. Making it known that Irina is his target is pretty common. So, for them to try and find a way to stop Strahd from obtaining her is not a surprise. Now, reuniting her with Sergei, that's a little interesting, because where do the players pick up on that? So, you might not always have to give them that guidance, but let them come across it naturally. See what happens. Now, if they do something to move the story along, uh, again, there's different point values, whether they're major or minor. Some of them are kind of that in between major and minor, where they're kind of note. And then what a few things I like to do is have the players encounter Strahd numerous times throughout the adventure. So whenever they encounter Strahd, it's worth some more points. And I don't just mean like, well, I do mean like them wandering around the world and Strahd coming upon them to chastise them for burning down part of his forest. And in, tr- in exchange, he fireballs them with their wagon. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That'll be an encounter. He's going to fireball them, leave them with some of his minions, and he's leaving because he's done. Exploration. So when they get to somewhere new, if it's a small locale, such as the Tesser Pools or the village of Barovia, where there's not a lot to explore, a small map that it shouldn't take but an hour. It's going to be like 0.31 points to their score. Now, you get somewhere with a little more meat to it, where it's going to take 2 to 3 sessions. Now you're looking at something like Argenvolst, where it's a small dungeon. There's some value to do it, but it's not going to drag you on. Now, places that are worth a lot are going to be places like the Amber Temple and Castle Ravenloft. Those places are huge. I mean, the Amber Temple alone is huge. Castle Ravenloft, it's 3 times the size. It is ridiculously large. Now, are the players going to explore all of it? Not likely. I mean, there's so many secret rooms, trapdoors, but it's still going to be worth a good amount. Now, when do you determine that they've explored enough to gain that experience points? That's a great question. I find that if they've made a goodwill effort to explore most of it, that's good enough. If they just enter the place and leave, of course that's not good enough. So, I mean, it's almost like saying, "All right, congratulations, you found Van Richten's tower. Oh, you see a werewolf den across the way? Oh, okay, you can get those points too. You found it." No, they haven't explored it. Have them explore it. And then magic items. For Curse of Strahd, there are magic items that are laid out in the book. And so I made note, it's pointed out to use each of these, or that they're of a certain value. And all magic items are the same value. Now, I did add a veteran's cane into the death house, and so I also made it of the same value and put it down here as where it would be, which is Appendix B. And then the interactive Tome of Strahd with my 21 Curse of Strahd group, because they found it so late in the campaign, I just had them do all the chapters, and then they had to do a skill check to figure out how to get out of the book. So they went ahead and they went through the whole book without an option. And so they ended up with the whole 8.13 points, which is a lot of points. But it was kind of good too at the same time because they had been in a slump. So that got them up to the next level right off. Now, a few things I like to do. So, here on the right column, I have obtained. So I know what they've gotten. So if they've gotten the Tome of Strahd, I'll carry that over. They've done the interactive Tome of Strahd, carry those over. Now, they went through the Death House and they missed the Veterans King. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to fill it in with a block of color. That way I know it's gone, it can't be gotten again. If I notice that they have an item that needs to be returned, or to complete a quest, such as returning the wizard's gem, I'll go here, I'll give it a light shade of green. That way I know, hey, they can complete this now. It's a great interactive way for me to quickly see, hey, where do they have points coming up? And I can do the same with the exploration. I'm like, hey, they're currently at the Ember Temple. Or, right now they have a quest to go to Van Richten's Tower. So I know, hey, these are things I need to, one, prepare, and also be aware of these points are coming up. So, we've got Curse of Strahd, very popular module. We know what's coming. But what we don't know is the homebrew. So, let me go ahead and reset this, and we'll pop over to the White Queen's Milestone. Now, here, this is a campaign I'm taking from level 1 This is a campaign I'm taking from level 1 all the way up to level 20. So I have to finesse and finagle the numbers into a way that works right for this. Now, early levels 1, 2, and 3 are very deadly. So we want to get through them quickly, but also make them work for it. So they need to earn 2 points for level 2, and then they need to get another 2 points to get to level 3. So this is running total. Alright? And as they go further up, now it starts to get more challenging. At level 4, they need 3 more points. Level 5, they need 4. And so on until we get to level 10. At level 10 through 15, now they need 10 points each time. And the reason for that change is because the more you stretch it out, the harder it gets for the players to get those points, because you are further into the campaign. But at the same time, once you hit level 16, now it starts to increase by 12, just to make it a little bit more of a challenge to get from that into that higher tier of play. Now, there are some things we need to go through, such as the reading. Or, so, are the players going to get a reading? I don't know. I hope they do. I think it's a very fun fact to add, because now it's a little bit of mystery and ambiguity that can be added into the campaign. Are there big enemies? There's going to be. You know there is. The big bad evil guy's goals. What are they? We don't know. Moving the story forward, there's a few obvious things, such as gaining the prestige of the region, becoming local heroes, and then regional, then gaining notoriety within the kingdom, within the queen's court, and eventually becoming heroes of the kingdom, maybe even heroes of the realm. Now, exploration and experience points, very same thing. Magic items, Now, Curse of Strahd, you don't have a chance to buy magic items, except for maybe with the Vistani. Here, there's going to be more chances to, but if you're buying it, you're not earning it. You've already earned that gold, or those other items that you're exchanging in return of a magic item. So, the only way to get points for magic items is by earning them. And then, since we don't have the interactive Tome of Strahd to take them somewhere, I have other dimensions. And so if they end up visiting another dimension, doing a quest there or something, then they're going to get the points there. So let's go take a look at what the full breakdown is, because you see right now it's showing a max possible of 41. I want to get it up to 250. So going into sheet 2, we're seeing received a card reading. That's a new one, and it's a key one because that would help with leveling up, but they have to find a person who can do a reading. And then of those, there's going to be 3 item cards, and a special NPC who can help them. Maybe not join, but assist. So let's go with assist. This might be someone who is wise and knowledgeable and can direct them in a way. Now, enemies, if it's a sub-boss or a backstory bad guy, we're going to make it worth 1.25 points. Actually, we might even take this apart. We're going to insert a row here. We're going to go backstory, big bad evil guy. Alright, and we're going to go equal 1.25 times 2. Make them worth a little bit more, because they are worth more. They are a very important person to that character's backstory. And then we've got big bad evil guy goals. Now, that does not mean it has to be the campaign big bad evil guy. It could be that it's from the backstory. It could be that it's the sub-bosses goals. There's a lot you can have with this. And you can change the point values too. Moving the story forward. You've got different plots. You got the main story plot, the character plots, and the side quests. They are all different, so they have different values. Make use of them. I plan on having 6 characters, or 6 players, so I'm going to add rows for each one. I know that we're going to hit these multiple times. So what I would do is I would give this character a name, Tasha's plot, number 1. And then, oh, we went back to Tasha's content again, plot number 2. And then we'd carry those over, and we'd keep going. So there's more and more chances, the more and more the characters invest into the world, which is what I'm after. I want them to invest, and I want them to be part of this. And that's why I have such a focus on character creation being a one-on-one between the DM and the player. That way they can figure out, alright, what does it look like for your character to be a part of this world? Now, exploration, as we kind of saw with Curse of Strahd, if it's a small area or a village, a city, something that can be explored really quickly, we're looking at about a third of a point. Now, if it's a medium-sized area where it takes 2 to 3 sessions to explore, now we're looking at 2/3 of a point. And then those large areas, we're looking at a point and a half. Now, the reason why exploration isn't higher up is because of the magic items or the quests that take us there. So what we're looking for is each item to have its own value. Now, for me, consumable items are going to be a little more popular. I want those to still have value. So the common and uncommon are not worth too much. But once you start getting into those rare, very rare items, now you start picking up that steam where they're worth more. So we want to keep on doing that. And then if they hop into another dimension, every quest they do, we want to make sure to reward them. And that could be with the experience points, but also, yet again, magic items and other content. So, we've got it all set up. We need to add in and fill in as much as we can for the White Queen campaign. And I look forward to it. I mean, I'm wanting to at least add 250 possible points, though I would not be surprised by the end of the campaign if I offer up 300, 350, 400 different points possible. Do I expect them to take them all? No, by no means. If that's the case, though, wonderful. Let's have fun. Let's explore the world together. But everything they do is going to be their choice because it's a sandbox world. And I look forward to seeing what that looks like. Now, I realize this is a rather short session, but I wanted to go over what milestone experience points look like. Because this is something that I absolutely love. It's what has made me enjoy Curse of Strahd so much. It's what's made it so that I don't have the murder hobo mentality from my players, where they're always wanting to kill stuff. Because now they can slow down and think, how can I interact with this world? Because I don't have to kill everything to get experience points, like the experience point system encourages. On the other side, with milestones, it's not like they have to think, well, is this worth doing? Is this going to give us a level? Instead, everything offers up a chance. Because now it's encouraging that roleplay and exploration. Hey, is there a magic item behind this door? What happens if we touch this? What happens if we interact with this NPC that's been introduced? Are they going to give us a quest? Are they going to try and encourage us to do something? What is it about this person? Now, I did not create the milestone experience points system. In fact, someone else did. And so I'm going to pull up their little sheet here on DriveThruRPG. At least that's where I do believe it was found. And I'm pulling this up on a separate screen just so I can find it real quick. And if it's not DriveThruRPG, I do know where it would be then. Alright, nope, not DriveThruRPG. So, that means we're looking at the Dungeon Masters Guild. Alright, here we go, my library. Oh, okay. let's see here. Okay. Well, it's not wanting to pop up. Let's see what we could do to find it. Alright. Well, let's see here. I do know I have the document saved elsewhere. Let's just pull it up right there because this is going to be quicker. PDFs. Here we go. Now, I have tons and tons of documents from Drive-Thru RPG and the Dungeon Masters Guild because some of this third-party content is so amazing. Alright, so here's the document. It was written by our Padron. Uh, Wonderful document. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull it up here. There we go. Here we are. The structured milestone experience points for Curse of Strahd. Now, this looks like it has been updated since I last downloaded it. Mine shows version 1.0, and this looks like it says version 11. So, it might be time that I download the newest version. This is a very great document. I love using it. It has made a wonderful difference in my Curse of Strahd campaign. I tweaked it a little bit with the point values, but if you get a chance, look it up, give it a chance. Curse of Strahd is a wonderful module. I definitely encourage it. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a great night. And till next time, I'll think of a catchphrase.